The New York Knicks have found their next star in Tyler Kolek, who showed he has massive potential in the G League showcase game and proving Tom Thibodeau right for wanting to draft him. Meanwhile, players such as Pacome, Dadiet, and Moses Brown, seen here, also have shown that they could have a massive role with the New York Knicks for many years to come, and we're going to break it all down. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Knicks Digest. It's Chris here, and we're going to jump right into things as usual. And if you guys like the content, make sure to subscribe. 25.5% of viewers watching this are subscribed. It's the season of giving. Let's get those numbers up. But we're here to talk about basketball, and that is exactly what we are going to do. Tyler Kolek looks like an absolute future star with the New York Knicks. Now, Kolek has not spent a ton of time on the court. The rookie has mainly seen moments in the G League and has been the rookie that's played the most for the New York Knicks, but with the Knicks being a contending team and all, and being pretty deep in point guard, obviously having Jalen Brunson as their star player, but on top of that, having guys like Deuce McBride and Cameron Payne have made it tough for Tyler Kolek to find his rhythm and find a spot to really play for this New York Knicks team. And what we're most likely going to see is Kolek not really get that opportunity this season, but that does not mean Tyler Kolek is not a good player, and that does not mean the New York Knicks do not like Tyler Kolek. Kolek looks like a future star for the Knicks. Every time he steps out onto the court, he looks like he just completely understands the game of basketball. He's got that perfect energy. He does not play like a rookie. He plays like he's been in the NBA for years. This was an NBA-ready guy coming out of the draft. I mean, Tyler Kolek, picked in the second round, but 23 years old, great at Marquette. The guy clearly is going to have a major role with the New York Knicks, and I believe next year he is going to be the premier backup point guard, while Deuce McBride slides more to a shooting guard position, because Tyler Kolek is a clear-cut floor general that is going to raise the Knicks' ceiling so much once he hits his peak. Kolek looks like he could be a future star in the NBA, and he showed this in the NBA G League showcase game. He's shown it in the G League all year long. He's shown it with the NBA club when he gets his moments. Tyler Kolek is just clearly one of those dudes. The Knicks are very good at drafting. Walt Perrin, their assistant GM, has been an absolute NBA draft guru. He drafted Rudy Gobert in the second round, has been behind so many of these Knicks steals, whether it's Emmanuel Quickley, Tyler Kolek. Every single pick the Knicks have made since Leon Rose got here, Walt Perrin has been a part of, and it's one of the reasons why we've seen the Knicks draft so well. I mean, Ariel Hukporti's been great in his limited minutes as well. We've seen Pacome Dadiet show promise. The Knicks are a good drafting team, which is so refreshing after those years of picking Frank Ntilikina then Kevin Knox back-to-back because Steve Mills was in charge. Now the Knicks are a competent front office, and Leon Rose has struck gold with Tyler Kolek. Now, the Westchester Knicks went back-to-back as G League Winter Showcase champions, and Tyler Kolek took home the MVP with 22 points and 11 assists off the bench. He only played 20 minutes, and Tyler Kolek, he just looked like he had no business being in the G League. He was the best player on the floor, was evidently clear from moment one. The second Kolek got out there, he was dropping no-look passes. He was diming everyone up, hitting threes, playing with this premier confidence. He was the most confident player out there. Mind you, he was in college a year ago at this point. And he goes out there and is playing guys who are former NBA players, playing with former NBA players, trying to get back to the league, such as TJ Warren and Moses Brown. And Kolek just, ran the floor, looked like the best player on the court by far. And now we're seeing why this New York Knicks team loves Tyler Kolek so much. Now, as I said, the minutes are not there. He's a rookie. Tibbs does not really play rookies. I know I'm going to get that comment, but Tibbs does love Tyler Kolek. Tom Thibodeau is a big fan of Tyler Kolek. This pick, the Kolek pick, came from Tibbs also. Tibbs wanted the Knicks to draft Tyler Kolek. He saw the vision with him. He saw an older rookie that would be able to perform, and there's a reason that, well, you could just see that Tibbs liked Tyler Kolek because he plays more minutes than every other rookie, despite the fact that the Knicks could use Pacome Dadiet in games, considering they really don't have too much size off the bench. Meanwhile, they have a ton of guards, but if people get injured, Tyler Kolek comes in. If Payne or Deuce is not there, you can bet to see Tyler Kolek in that game, and he'll perform. I mean, the guy's had good NBA moments. He's had games where he's hitting threes. I mean, for the first week of the season, he hadn't missed a three with the New York Knicks. The guy has just shown that he's ready to compete. We saw it in the Summer League when he looked great. We've now seen it in the G League Showcase where he's looked great. And I mean, in the few games that he's played in the G League, it's only been 4 games, the man's averaged 19 points, 5.5 rebounds, and 8 assists per game. The shooting numbers are good, shooting 46% from the field. I'll make this a little bit bigger for you guys, and for me, it also helps me. Shooting 40% from the field, see, that's why I had to make it bigger. And also 36% from 3. The man's shooting well. The free throw numbers are obviously good. Tyler Kolek, I mean, he's doing this in 30 minutes. It's not like he's playing 36, 37 minutes like some guys would. Kolek is not playing as many minutes as other people, but he's still showing up and showing out and looking like the best player on this team. Now, Kolek spoke on winning the championship in the G League, saying, "It's like when you have a group project and you join at the last minute and get an A. Shout out to my teammates. I don't know where the S is. They've been pushing it all year. I love playing with them. It's like a family down here, so it's been fun." Kolek has liked his time in the NBA G League because he gets real minutes in the NBA G League, and that matters to a guy like Tyler. He wants to be his best self, and the way to be his best self means playing basketball. It makes way more sense when you got a prospect like this who's just, his stock is just rising every time he steps on the floor, to get him reps in the G League rather than have him watch on the bench. Yeah, it'll be helpful for him to be with the NBA club and see what they're doing, understand what he has to do on the court, but it's also important for him to get reps, for him to stay warm and stay ready, and Kolek has shown that he's stayed ready. He's never once looked hesitant on the court when Tibbs calls his number. The man just has it. He understands it. Basketball, it just makes sense to Tyler Kolek in a way that it doesn't always to some people, where there's a little more hesitancy. I mean, as Ariel pointed out, Jericho Sims looks nervous when he plays basketball. He's been in the NBA for 4 years. Tyler Kolek has been in the NBA for 4 months, and the man looks as confident as anyone. He's as confident as a 10-year NBA veteran. When you see players like that, you always bet on them to succeed because you know they genuinely have it. Also, shout out to the Wizards. They finally won a game. But looking at Kolek, he just understands it, and it's clear why this is working out. And Tom Thibodeau spoke on Kolek's G League games. Not the game that just happened, but a different one that he said he watched. He said, "I watched the game, and I thought he played really well in that game. He has a great feel offensively, and I think he just has to continue the work, obviously. Like most young guys, the challenge becomes more understanding defense and the things that go into that. I like the way he's progressing a lot." Now, Tibbs is right. Kolek has to focus on his defense more than his offense. His offense is great. The man, I've said it 10 million times in this video already. He does not play offense like he's an NBA rookie. He does play defense like he's an NBA rookie, though. He knows what to do on defense. He's a smart enough defender for right now, but the defense just isn't great. He's going to have to learn how to get crafty with it. He's not the biggest. He's not the strongest. He's not the fastest. But look at Jalen Brunson. He's better at defense than he should be, so Tyler Kolek can get there. And I know comparing Tyler Kolek to Jalen Brunson, who's a top 10 NBA player, is a pretty absurd thing to do. And I'm not saying Kolek is going to become Jalen Brunson or a top 10 NBA player, but I am saying Kolek is going to be very good, and that Tom Thibodeau is the right coach for Kolek to have. Tibbs is weirdly good at developing young players, and I know I'm going to get people who disagree because of the lack of playing time, but look at the Knicks. Look at Deuce McBride, who's developed really well under Tibbs. Look at how Emmanuel quickly developed. Look at how RJ Barrett developed better once Tibbs came in over David Fizdale. We've seen over time, Tibbs is good with young players. Jimmy Butler figured it out under Tibbs. Derrick Rose won the youngest MVP ever under Tibbs. Tibbs is very low-key good at developing young players, and Tyler Kolek is the perfect guy for him because Tibbs is an excellent defensive coach. He's going to help Kolek figure out his defensive struggles and give him ways to be crafty and how to play within the team defensive system. And when you play a team defense the way the Knicks do, that all revolves around rim protection, and also when you happen to have Mikal Bridges and OG Anunoby on your team, and eventually Mitchell Robinson once he comes back, it's going to make Kolek's life a hell of a lot easier to play defense. Kolek is going to be just fine on the defensive end, and Tibbs is going to be a big reason because of it, and he deserves his flowers for that. Now, in the game that the Knicks played, we also saw guys like Moses Brown play well, as he had 16 rebounds and 14 points, also a plus 25, the highest on the team. We saw Chuma Okeke struggle, even though he's been one of the best players on the Westchester Knicks. TJ Warren played well, probably should have shot within the arc more than outside the arc, considering he only went 3 for 11 from 3 and still shot 9 for 20 from the field. Put up 24 points. Great game by TJ Warren. He's been great in the G League, and I do still think the Knicks have plans to pick him up one way or another. I do think TJ Warren will find his way on to the New York Knicks at some point around the trade deadline. I do think the Knicks are going to move Precious Achiuwa, and they might move Jericho Sims for the money so they could sign TJ Warren. It all makes sense. Now, another rookie, Pacome Dadiet, in 23 minutes, he went 4 for 7 from the field and 1 for 3 from 3. He had 11 points, a +9. He had a steal. His steals have been excellent this season. Dadiet is another player who I'm very excited about for the New York Knicks. I think Pacome Dadiet is someone who's going to be very helpful for the team, and I do expect the Knicks to use Pacome at some point, maybe just not now. However, looking at what Fred Katz says getting back to Tyler Kolek, Fred Katz predicted over the summer that he imagines Kolek sits at the end of the bench for most of this season, which has not been necessarily the end of the bench, but it has been on the bench. And he did say that eventually he'll receive a chance, and that Tibbs is a massive fan and was pushing for the Knicks to draft him. But similar to Deuce McBride, who the Knicks drafted in the second round a few years ago before he finally became a regular in 2024, the change might not come for a bit. Well, I think Tyler Kolek is on the road to getting more minutes sooner. Now, Kolek, in his limited minutes this season, has averaged nearly 3 points per game with 0.7 rebounds and 0.6 assists. He's shooting 43% from 3, which is excellent. He's also shooting 42% from the field. Kolek's numbers are obviously predicated on the fact that he hasn't really got a bunch of time, but he's had a positive defensive box plus-minus in these limited minutes, which is a good sign for his defense moving forwards. Now, as I said, I was also mentioning Dadiet. Dadiet also limited minutes, but has shown some promise. I mean, not as good as Kolek right now, but Dadiet is 19 years old. He was drafted at 18. 1.6 points per game, 1 rebound, 30% from the field, 36% from 3. He's going to have to figure it out and pick it up, but that'll come with time. Now, the New York Knicks are in very good position to wait. Meanwhile, just because we're talking about the rookies, to go into Pacome a little bit more, the shooting percentages need to get better, but he's not afraid to shoot the ball, which is a good sign. He's averaging 12 and 5 in the G League, which is solid. He's doing his thing. I think Pacome, it's going to be a longer road before he gets real minutes, but it will come, especially because his defense has been a pleasant surprise. Meanwhile, Ariel Hukporti has struggled in the G League, but he's been in the G League less than everyone else. Only played 3 games there because the Knicks do need the center depth, and they like Hukporti as he's on a 2-way contract, and they like using him, honestly. Now, Hukporti, for the regular season, averaging 2 and 2, basically the same numbers as Jericho Sims, despite the fact that he's playing a lot less minutes. Hukporti is going to be a huge part of the New York Knicks once the Knicks trade Mitchell Robinson over the summer, but that's a conversation for a later date. If you guys like this video, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Thank you so much for 10K. We'll do something special about it. I would give a longer thing, but no one needs to hear that. It's all the same stuff of I'm so grateful, and it's the greatest thing in the world, and I'm really, really thankful for it, but y'all don't need to hear that. If you want to hear it, I can do it on another video. Guys, thank you so much for 10K. We're not slowing down. Have a great day. Like this video, and go Knicks.